Colregs Video Compilation 2024 to 2025. Here's a collection of our Colregs discussions from the online third meet page where we explained in simple terms the most commonly asked rules by seafarers. Perfect for quick review and refresher before your next bridge watch. Rule 1 indicates that the Colregs are applicable worldwide, covering both open seas and navigable inland waterways, such as harbors, canals, and rivers. However, these regulations may not extend to warships or vessels engaged in fleet fishing. Local authorities are permitted to establish specific rules for their waters, provided these rules align with the Colregs as much as possible. Ships of unique design, like aircraft carriers and submarines, which may be unable to fully adhere to the rules, are still required to comply as closely as they can. Rule 2 states that vessel owners, masters, or crew cannot use the rules as a justification to escape responsibility for failing to comply with them. Consideration must be given to any special conditions, including the limitations of the vessels involved. In certain situations, it may be necessary to deviate from the rules to prevent immediate danger. In summary, while the rules must be adhered to, they cannot be used as a defense in the event of a collision. Rule 3 provides definitions for the purposes of the rules. It highlights three types of vessels that may be unable to maneuver as required. First are vessels constrained by their draft, meaning they are in shallow waters and cannot change course easily. Second, vessels engage in tasks that restrict their maneuverability and ability to avoid other vessels. These activities include, but are not limited to, pipeline laying, dredging, surveying, underwater operations, cargo or personnel transfers while underway, launching or recovering aircraft, mine clearance, and in some cases, towing. Lastly, depending on their work, fishing vessels may also be restricted in maneuverability due to nets, lines, or trawls. However, this does not apply to vessels engaged in sport fishing using trawling line. Colregs Rule 7 is about avoiding collisions by making sure you carefully assess the risk of one happening. Here's a simple breakdown. Keep watch, always keep a lookout for other vessels using all available tools like your eyes, radar, ECDIS, AIS, etc. Assume risk if unsure. If you're not sure whether a collision could happen, assume there is a risk and act accordingly. Constant observation. If another vessel's position relative to yours doesn't change much over time, especially if you're getting closer, there's likely a collision risk. Use your primary anti-collision tool, which is your radar, to help detect other vessels in real time, especially in poor visibility or at night. But don't rely on the equipment, use your sound judgment as well. The goal is to act early and responsibly to avoid dangerous situations. Colregs Rule 8 says ships must take clear and early action to avoid collisions. Changes in course or speed should be large enough to be obvious to other ships. Actions should be made in good time and with caution, keeping a safe distance. If needed, ships can slow down or stop to avoid danger. After acting, ships must check to make sure the risk of collision is fully gone. Colregs Rule 9 says that ships in narrow channels or fairways should stay on the starboard side of the channel. Ships overtaking others must signal and ensure it's safe before passing, giving way if necessary. Small vessels, fishing boats, and those crossing the channel must not block the way of larger ships that can only navigate safely in the channel. All ships must be cautious, go at a safe speed, and avoid creating dangers. In Colregs, sound signals for overtaking depend on the side of overtaking. Number 1, overtaking on the starboard side. The overtaking vessel gives 2 prolonged blasts followed by 1 short blast. Number 2, overtaking on the port side. The overtaking vessel gives 2 prolonged blasts followed by 2 short blasts. Number 3, response by the overtaken vessel. If it agrees, the overtaken vessel replies with C. 1 prolonged, 1 short, 1 prolonged, 1 short. If in doubt, 5 short blasts may be used. Colregs Rule 10, traffic separation schemes, ensures safe navigation in designated lanes. Vessels must follow the correct traffic flow, avoid crossing or entering separation zones unless necessary, and join or leave lanes at small angles. Smaller vessels, sailing vessels, and fishing boats can use inshore traffic zones but must not block larger vessels. Anchoring in or near TSS areas is discouraged. Special vessels, such as those doing safety or cable work, may be exempt from some rules to perform their duties. All vessels must navigate cautiously near TSS ends and avoid unnecessary interference with others. Colregs Rule 12 explains how sailing vessels should avoid collisions when they meet. If 2 sailboats are approaching each other, the boat with the wind on its port side must give way. If both have the wind on the same side, the boat that is upwind, closer to the wind, must give way to the one downwind. If a sailor cannot tell which side the wind is on for the other boat, they should give way to avoid a collision. Colregs Rule 13 is about overtaking. It says that the vessel overtaking another must keep out of the way of the vessel being overtaken. A vessel is considered overtaking if it is coming from behind and is more than 22.5 degrees abaft the other vessel's beam. The rule applies even if the overtaking vessel later changes its position relative to the other vessel. The key is to avoid causing a collision. Colregs Rule 14 covers head-on situations for power-driven vessels. When two power-driven vessels are heading straight toward each other, or nearly so, in a way that could cause a collision, both vessels must turn to starboard so they pass each other safely on their port side. Experienced deck officers do this in Rule 15, Colregs. This is how an experienced deck officer would approach Rule 15 crossing situation, by using the simple stoplight method, which works just like traffic lights when you drive a car. If you see red, you must stop or give way. If you see green, then you may go. But always remember to keep monitoring if the other vessel will comply. If not, you must take the necessary maneuver to avoid collision. Colregs Rule 16 states that when two vessels are at risk of collision, the giveaway vessel must act early and clearly to avoid the other vessel. It should adjust its course or speed to keep a safe distance and ensure there is no confusion about its intentions. The goal is to prevent accidents by taking timely and obvious action. Colregs Rule 17 says that stand-on vessel should keep its course and speed but must be ready to act if the giveaway vessel doesn't follow the rules to avoid a collision. If there's a real danger of collision and no time to act otherwise, the stand-on vessel must take action to prevent an accident. However, this doesn't relieve the giveaway vessel of its responsibility to avoid collisions. An expert third mate would explain and apply Colregs Rule 18 step by step by first outlining that it establishes the hierarchy of vessels, determining which must give way. Some might use the mnemonic new reels, catch fish, so purchase some weekly, to list the priority: not under command, restricted inability to maneuver, constrained by draft, fishing, sailing, power-driven, seaplane, wing, in-ground craft. Next, they would clarify that power-driven vessels must give way to sailing, fishing, ram, NUC, and CBD vessels. Finally, they would emphasize the importance of continuous monitoring, proper signaling, lights, shapes, and sounds, and taking early, decisive action to avoid close quarters situations. One day, you'll be in a local area where the shapes and lights on some vessels don't match what you learned in Colregs. Don't be surprised. Instead, check the local navigation rules sent by your company, charterer, or pilot. Always stay informed and adapt. Quick few tips in Colregs discussed before, but we will discuss again for refresher. Rule 15, crossing situation. Just remember the stoplight method, like on traffic lights when you drive a car. If you see red, stop or give way. If you see green, go. But still monitor if other vessel will comply. If not, do the necessary maneuver to avoid collision. Rule 29, pilot vessels. Just remember, white over red, pilot ahead. Rule 30, anchored vessels. Just remember, side lights and stern lights are not used by a vessel at anchor. Bonus tips: red over white, fishing at night; green over white, trawling at night; red over green, sailing machine. These are just basic reminders but worth noting. 7. Colregs interview questions with answers for deck cadets and deck ratings. From a reliable source in an office in which will not name, these are some of the interview questions thrown at deck cadets and deck ratings regarding Colregs. Number 1. Describe the difference between a stand-on vessel and a giveaway vessel, according to Colregs. What actions would you take on the bridge if your vessel is the giveaway vessel in a crossing situation? Sample answer: stand-on vessel versus giveaway vessel. A stand-on vessel is the one that should maintain its course and speed in a crossing or overtaking situation, unless it becomes clear that the giveaway vessel is not taking action. A giveaway vessel must take early and clear actions to avoid a collision by altering its course, speed, or both. Actions as a giveaway vessel. Immediately assess the situation. Make a bold course alteration to pass well clear of the stand-on vessel. Reduce speed or stop if necessary. Communicate via radio or signal if required. Number 2, explain the required lights and shapes a vessel underway at night must exhibit according to Colregs. Briefly mention any differences for vessels towing. Sample answer. A vessel underway at night must exhibit masthead lights, white light forward and aft if over 50 meters, side lights red port and green starboard, stern light, white light at the stern. Differences for towing vessels. Display an additional masthead light, exhibit a yellow towing light above the stern light, shapes a diamond shape during the day if the tow is over 200 meters. Number 3, what are the appropriate maneuvering actions a vessel should take to avoid a close quarters situation according to Colregs? When would a danger signal be used? Sample answer. Maneuvering actions. Take early and substantial action to show your intentions. Ensure the change is visible to the other vessel. Example, a large alteration in heading. Danger signal. Use 5 short and rapid blasts on the whistle if unsure of the other vessel's intentions or if there is immediate danger. Number 4. Use sight of vessel on radar that appears not to be following Colregs. Describe the steps you would take as the officer on watch. Sample answer. Monitor the vessel closely on radar and visually. Maintain a safe distance by altering course or speed early. Attempt communication using VHF radio. Use appropriate sound signals. Example, danger signal. Document the incident in the ship's logbook. Number 5. Explain the concept of restricted in her ability to maneuver according to Colregs. Give an example of a situation where a vessel might be considered restricted. Sample answer. This refers to vessels unable to deviate from their course due to specific operations. Example, a dredger or survey ship laying cables. Number 6. In your opinion, why is it crucial for deck officers to maintain a thorough understanding of Colregs? Sample answer. Ensure the safety of life, property, and the marine environment. Reduces the risk of collisions by providing a clear set of rules. Builds confidence and professionalism in handling challenging situations. Number 7. Beyond memorizing regulations, how can a deck cadet develop good situational awareness to effectively implement Colregs at sea? Sample answer. Bridge practices. Regularly monitor radar, AIS, and visual lookouts. Discuss potential collision scenarios with the watch team. Practice identifying lights and shapes at night. Training. Participate in simulator exercises. Study Colregs publications and real-life collision cases. Mindset. Stay alert and think ahead to anticipate situations. Keep learning and asking questions to improve your judgment. Remember, gents and ladies, not all companies have the same format or questions. This is just a guide. I highly recommend going back to the basics, which is studying more.